Alright, in this video we're going to talk about solve quadratics by factoring when a equals 1. So this is ones we do not leapfrog in. These are the more simpler ones. Alright, so the first one, we got plenty of examples here. The first one we're going to talk about is right there, x squared plus 5x plus 6 equals, or you're going to see that now, equals 0, because we want to know what numbers I plug in for x that gives me a 0 for an answer. So I look here, remember the way we do this, we find factors of 6. We got 6 and 1 and 3 and 2. Since it's positive, we only need to write the factors once. Look here, figure out which ones add up to 5. Well, that's 3 and 2. Now remember, we are not done yet. This is not your answer. We are almost there. So you have to look at it. If you have to break it down and figure out, solve it. If you have to do that, that's fine. Subtract 3 from both sides. We get negative 3. Subtract 2 from both sides. We get negative 2. Those are your answers. X equals negative 3 and negative 2. This is way to get your answer. This is your final answer. And we can always plug it in and get the same. Get the solution of 0. We're going to keep rolling, get another example. With this one, there's only one pair of factors, but we have to write it twice since there is a negative sign. So we look here, which ones add up to negative 4? Well, that's the first one. So we should know how to set it up from here. So now, remember, we're not done yet. We have to find the two numbers to plug in that gives this 0. So what gives me 0 in the first one? Well, 5 minus 5 is 0, so that's my first one. This one, negative 1 plus 1 is 0. And if you want to think about it, it's the negatives, or the opposite. So if it's negative 5, we got 5 and plus 1, it's negative 1. That's only when there's a 1 here. Next video will not have a 1 there. Alright, two more to talk about. So this is on top. There's plenty of example. There are plenty of factors of this one, and you can go down the list. Negative 4 plus 4 is 0. These don't work, so we just cross them out. We look here, and then we finally found our one. Negative 8 plus 2 is negative 6. So we're going to make our factors. Once again, what minus 8 is 0? Well, that's 8. And what plus 2 is 0? Well, that's negative 2. And if you need to split that up to see that, like we did in the first example, do so, please. This is our last example. Remember, the only factors of 2 are 2 and 1, but they have to add up to negative 1. So in this case, you will have negatives. Both of them will be negatives. That's fine. Remember, you don't have to write it the way I'm writing. If you want to write by x minus 1 and x minus 2, give you the same answer. Nothing different. So what minus 2 is 0? Well, that's just 2. What minus 1 is 0? Well, that's just 1. So those are our two answers. Remember, this is not your final answer. This is just a method of getting to your final answer. This is your final answer.